This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show. Should I reenact spilling my tea all over the soundboard? There's still
know what? You should.
If there's
but that would just be 3 minutes of you like mumbling to yourself.
Here's the true story, listener, is I said a hilarious joke, and then Brian was like, that's not funny. And I went to hit the button, and then I pushed over my tea, and it spilled all over the fucking soundboard. And Brian, whatever Brian says actually happened is not true. We have a full witness, Joe, here to tell the audience what is happening. Why are we getting so much louder?
Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, that's not good.
No, we're good.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I think that something is fucked up with this. I think I fucking ruined the soundboard just now.
What's going on with it?
Oh my God.
Everybody whisper.
It's so loud.
It's very loud.
Like it's just nyert, 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 nyert. Like it's just turning the volume.
If there's any more tea
rapidly.
in the cup, perhaps you should just pour it in there and see if it'll counteract.
Oh my God.
God.
Ah, Jesus.
Can Brian hear Joe?
Brian can hear Joe.
Wow.
Okay, we'll get nice and close.
We need to ear right here. Push our ears together.
Joe pussed out. Where were we?
Oh yeah, the beginning of the episode.
You were busy destroying the soundboard, and we hadn't yet started the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Listener, we're having a good day. All of us are having really good days.
In case the file didn't like corrupted or something from the first part, I spilled tea all over the soundboard, and now everything's fucked, and we're recording into a much older Zoom recorder. And Joe's here. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
Those are all the bad things that have happened. And Joe's here. Now, Joe, usually you're here for the Ra's al Ghul episodes, in that you've been here for 2 of the 3 Ra's al Ghul episodes.
It's tradition.
It's tradition because you've done it more than once. But this is not one of those. Would you like to pronounce this for us, the name of this episode?
It looks like it's like Mxyzpixilated or something.
Mix?
Yeah.
It's close. I mean, you got the pixelated. That's the easy part.
Yep.
Well, I'll just leave it.
I'll
leave it alone. He'll tell you how to say it in the episode. Welcome to 105, episode 105. We're all sorts of thrown off because the shit fucked up because I'm a stupid fucking idiot. Spilled tea all over everything. Brian? Hi, Brian.
Hi. Yeah, so just a word of advice to everybody. Don't have liquids near your sensitive electronic devices. Don't have them on the desk with your computer.
But I'm so careful.
Don't keep them near your soundboards because stuff happens, especially if you're James.
I mean, only if
I feel
James.
like if it would have been a cup from anywhere besides Dairy Queen, it could have withstood James's full-blown punch.
I reeled back like Vegeta and just punched through the cup. Just went, fuck the soundboard.
Pull it together, Dairy Queen.
Yeah, it is their fault. They've got me all frizzled from they took too long in the drive-thru. Joe was waiting on me when he got back to my house.
A Coke product wouldn't have done this.
And now we've taken an extra 45 minutes to try to solve this problem and fail and just do this instead.
Great.
So I hope this episode of the podcast sounds really good. We're starting off 2024 with a bang.
And a spill.
Yeah, episode 105. Jump on the Bat-Wagon. You know who we are. We're watching Mxyzpixilated. That's how you say it. I know, I disagree.
Why would James know this?
This aired Friday, September 20th, 1997 at 8:30 a.m. on Kids WB. One day after last episode, Target. I have champagne, but I'm not going to get it now. I'm not going to fuck up this.
We need more liquids for this.
But it aired 21 and produced 21. Yay! Press the clapping sound effect, everybody. Yay!
We'll all just have to.
I was like, that's the first time I realized, like, oh, I can't even press the buttons. So we're gonna sing the songs again. I guess we'll make Joe sing the songs. All right. That's the theme song to this show. You know it, I know it, Joe knows it. This is written by Paul Dini, who previously wrote 24 episodes of B-Test, as well as LASAC. What do you think LASAC stands for?
Yeah, I was not ready for that question.
No, you won't be ready for anything.
Legends of Superman, okay?
Yeah, Legends Superman of okay. Oh, the O doesn't count in of. I see. Okay itself is okay. I got it. Banana Man said it. We must do it. The Main Man and Holiday Nights. This is directed by Dan Reba. Previously directed 10 episodes of B-Test, as well as LASAC, Last Son of Krypton, parts 1 and 3. The main, what did you say? I've already forgotten.
Legends of Superman.
Legends of Superman. Yeah. The Main Man, Blasts from the Past, and Holiday Nights. Music is by Harvey Cohen, who previously composed 22 episodes of B-Test, as well as LASAC Part 3 and Livewire. This is his final DCAU composing credit. Harvey Cohen. We'll have no more Harvey Cohen after this.
Him and Leonard moved away.
There we go. We were I'm just going to make the motions to press the buttons. Just hit the countertop. I noticed
you're doing that. Interesting how
I'm like looking for them and they're not there. Yeah. Yeah, he would. I wrote down some stuff that he would go on to orchestrate after this. I'm going to try to write that down for anyone's like final credit on things. But he would go on to orchestrate or write additional music for Aladdin the animated series, Hercules the animated series, South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, Bicentennial Man, Titan AE, Little Nicky, Recess School's Out, The Master of Disguise, Final Destination 2 and 3, Holes, Down with Love, Team America, Scary Movie 4, and Mission Impossible 3.
What a weird combination of things.
It is really strange. Yeah.
High watermarks for me on that are all the South Park things. Bigger and Longer Uncut, like won a Grammy if I remember correct. And Team America World Police as well has some of the funniest music I've ever heard in my life.
It's really good. Yeah, I don't think he necessarily was the composer on all these things, but he was part of like the music department in some way on all of them. So, but
maybe I hate him now.
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Harvey Cohen, everybody.
I mean, we also forgot Robin Williams' best film, Bicentennial Man.
You're right. And animation is by Coco/Dong Yang, who previously animated 42 episodes of B-Test, as well as LASAC, Feeding Time, Stolen Memories, Tools of the Trade, Blast from the Past, Livewire, Identity Crisis, and Target, which was the last episode we watched. We didn't like it. And Joe wasn't here to feel bad when we watched Target.
Joe, I'm glad you didn't see it.
Thanks.
Spare you. Yeah. But you know who bought us our tea that we knocked onto the soundboard?
Whoever it is, we gotta beat him up after this.
Yeah. Let's see. Who was it? Who do we have to blame for ruining the soundboard here? It's This Just In, and then an airplane emoji is the name of this person. First of all, I say the thing, head over to the link in the description to send us a Yoppie beverage and support the show. We'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode. We'll also do a push-up for every $1. Joe's here for that. So send us a coffee for our health and your entertainment. Today's Yoppie Bev comes to us from This Just In airplane emoji, who says, I'm practically Australian, actually Alabamian, because of how much I listen to the Weekly Planet. Stay yoppin'. Also, I've got my plane ticket booked for Big Bus March. Yeah, so we'll see This Just In airplane emoji in March, I guess.
What's this? Big Bus March?
Big Bus March, March 9th.
Joe, you're going to be there.
Oh.
You're going to have to come to that. March 9th, we're doing a live podcast in Big Bus.
Oh.
Eugene. For you and the listeners' sake. And yeah, people are coming and watching us be stupid idiots and spill tea all over the sound. I guess I got to fix it before March, huh?
Sure do.
Either fix it or buy the new one I've been wanting anyway. But yeah, let's say that's 3 Yoppie Bevs. So that's 15 push-ups. I don't have to take my headphones off this time.
Come on, Joe.
Joe, we gotta do 15 push-ups.
That's push-ups.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah, count 2,
6,
7,
8,
4,
9,
5,
10,
6,
11,
7,
12,
8,
13, 14, 15.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh. I benefit nothing from these beverages, but I did the push-ups.
Let me take a sip from what's left of my tea here.
This tastes like
It's
soundboard.
nothing.
This tastes like This tastes like how Hey Arnold sounds.
We're going to have to, if somebody buys us a Yoppie Bev, like for the recording on the 9th, like we're going to have to do live push-ups for people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Buy all the beverages.
And then to prove that we actually do. Yeah, if everyone could just buy them right now. Yeah. Someone timed theirs with March 9th weekend to be like 25 Yoppie Bevs or something.
Oh,
Okay. We're going to go watch Mxyzpixilated now with Brian and Joe. Okay?
Okay.
Who are you?
Like Mummy said, I'm a superior being from the 5th dimension.
What do you want with me?
Lives! You see, for centuries now, I've been pitting my interdimensional magic against schmoes who thought they could go 15 rounds with the old master. You know the stories about genies, imps, and leprechauns?
You?
Guilty. After a while, I became bored with your basic rank and file human dolts, but then you showed up. Superman! You, my friend, are the ultimate challenge. We're gonna have many merry games, you and I.
A game has rules. Your stunts are just random idiocy.
Okay, I'll give you a rule. You make me say, spell, or otherwise reveal my name backwards, and I'll split until our dimensions come into alignment again in about, 3 months, give or take.
I can't even say your name forward. How am I supposed to say it backward?
No, dope! You don't have to say it backward. You have to get me to say it.
Say what?
Kill Tipsyism! Gosh, you're thick! Now, for the last time! Nuts.
Clark? Dear? Did something just happen?
No. What's for dinner?
I'm here too.
You're here 3, really, because there's 3 of us.
There could be someone else here too. You never know.
That's true. There's not.
Could be
though.
someone from another dimension.
Oh.
And then Batman just pops off of Jamie's shirt and walks across the desk and kicks over a cup of tea onto his computer.
Yeah, that's what he did at the start. Let's blame Batman. not me. It wasn't me. Now, traditionally, we have the guests tell us what happened in the episode.
Good luck, Joe.
Yeah, he gets to tell us. And we'll, Brian, can you sing the Sinyap song real quick?
Nope.
Okay. Joe, can you sing the Sinyap song real quick? All right. What happened in this episode? I can't possibly do it. So.
Okay. Basically,
Sinyap, if you're wondering. What you just watched.
Sinyap, what you just watched. Sinyap.
Take a listen to the
synopsis.
Short and summary, which is
The short and
sometimes
summary, which is
kind of
kind
long.
of long. Ding.
okay.
Now that that's over with.
I'm trying to think about how to make this like detailed and like cover important plot points, but there aren't any.
Yeah, you don't really need to.
A small man from the 5th dimension showed up.
Uh-huh.
He kept on trying to trick Superman. Superman was ahead of him at every single point, basically by getting him to say his name backwards, even though he couldn't say it forwards, and I still can't. I'm trying to think of like what I should call him because I can't say his name.
Mixy.
Mixie, that works. When Mixie would keep on going back to his own dimension, his girlfriend, I guess, would keep on trying to like, hey, why don't you come spend time with me instead of, trying to go after Superman? And he didn't care. He just kept on going after Superman and failing.
These booty shorts just for you.
Look at me. I'm completely naked. But he didn't care.
No.
And it didn't matter because he just kept coming back and losing to Superman. without any fighting whatsoever. Superman had to use none of his powers except for flying, I guess.
Superman had to use none of his powers. Yeah,
none of his like super strength or anything. Yeah, and then the episode ended.
It sure did, I guess.
It was uneventful, really.
Let me tell you the official synopsis. We can get into it. The Man of Steel is challenged to a battle of wits by Mxyzpixilated, a playful yet pixelating imp from the fifth dimension. You'll notice that the word pixelating is underlined in red because that's not a word, because the way it's spelled.
Also, there wasn't a single pixelation effect or anything in this entire episode.
So I thought about this, and I should have looked this up, but like I've always wondered why it's, because if you were going to type like pixelated, like a thing made of pixels, it would be Pixel, but this is Pixil, which makes me wonder if it has something to do with pixies and not.
That makes more sense, actually, because he talked about how like nymphs and stuff like that is all.
You've heard of genies in this thing?
Yeah.
This thing? Yeah.
I would say they had an opportunity to like pixelate right at the end. Especially
I was going to say a tie-in to Aladdin.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that too. But like when his body's like disintegrating piece by piece, they could have definitely pixelated some of that, and it would have been like, oh, I saw that.
It's the episode title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first time I've ever thought hard enough to decide that that's probably what it means. But yeah, I don't know. This is so I like this episode. I can tell that the two of you were pretty like, what the fuck am I watching like the whole time?
It was funny the first two times he got defeated.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, oh, okay.
It's just going to happen again.
Yeah,
Did you see the plain version coming a mile away, or was it a surprise that that's what he was doing?
That was a surprise to me.
Okay. Brian.
Should I have seen it?
No, I don't know. I just now, since I know what it is or what he's doing, why he's flying him around like that, is like, does that come across as like, oh, of course that's what he's doing, and it's, oh, get on with it.
I didn't think it was skywriting exactly. I didn't think he was writing his name backwards twice, but I figured that it was some kind of like, oh, this is the trick. He's gonna tie his smoke up into a knot, or like, I don't know.
I thought he was gonna like fly past a billboard that had his name on it or something like that.
Read this real quick for me for no reason. Instead, they flew past a drink soda billboard,
which is almost the Swedish and Norwegian word for south. It's just missing an umlaut.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's like the fourth or fifth time now we've seen a soda advertisement, I think, in the show.
They were flying around for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, with not much happening.
I think like to go back to your little mention there, Jamie, like it's not that I didn't like it. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't, it's not like I'm really, if it's a Superman episode, I don't like it. If it's an Animaniacs episode, then it's totally fine.
You mean like, I thought you just meant in general. Hey, if this is a Superman episode, I don't like it. You mean this kind of thing in a Superman episode is what
it's
you're
just
saying.
Like, I know that you were saying, you know, and we had a conversation early on in the Supermaning about how like, I don't remember if it was on the podcast or not, but how it's kind of like, oh, they're just like, you know, Superman's like all powerful and everything, so they have to like dream up weird ways to make weird things happen to have like new battles for him to fight. Like I get it, and this is one of those, oh, he's from the fifth dimension, sure, we're just gonna make that a thing, and fifth dimension, great, this dude does
whatever powers, yeah.
But you know, it is like Joe was saying, what is it, 5 times that he's just like, oh, gotta say my name. Oh, he tricked me. Well, he's not gonna get me to say my name this time. Oh, he tricked me. Well, he's not gonna get me to say my name this time. Oh, he tricked me.
You've got an opportunity to have such a like infinitely powerful person, and all we're doing is trying to get him to say his name backwards. Like this is someone who saw an episode of Star Trek with Q but didn't know how to write.
So mild spoilers for the listener, I guess, but we're working on a video about Mxyzpixilated, and so I've been reading a bunch of his like old comics and stuff, and he like the very first, I mean, it's in Tribs I have later, but like the very first time he appeared in like the 50s or whatever, it's the whole McGurk thing from the start of the episode where he's just running around looking for McGurk and all this stuff and being in the middle of the street and whatever. And that's how Superman discovers him. So like he's been around for forever. And I honestly wonder if Q is a riff on this guy because of how long he's been around, or a character like that or whatever, like Great Gazoo type of guy or whatever.
I could definitely see them being like related in a way. Like they instantly, I thought like, oh, this guy's like Q. Like,
yeah. But you make a good point about the infinite power thing is like, he can, like in some of the comics, he's just like destroying universes and just for fun or whatever, just like snapping his fingers and turning like blowing people up and all this stuff. And in this, he's just like, hey, let me turn the guy into chickens and do what is this is a funny thing. And Superman's like, you little guy, goodbye. Just constantly.
The beginning of the episode was like entertaining. And I was like, kind of enthralled. I'm like, okay, Superman goes to like stop a car and it turns to bubbles and there's a bubble guy talking to him, and then they're in an art exhibit and suddenly like Superman's punching the head off the Thinker, and it's like, oh, this is like, okay, this is going to be interesting. And then they're just like, all right, we set it up. Let's do the same thing 8 more times.
Yeah.
They're never going to see it coming.
I think the Thinker thing was just because like they were trying to let you know that like the Thinker said that the little man was his pal, and Superman does not believe in little people having pals.
What a guy. Yeah.
Kind of a douche, really. But
he's not very
it's also funny when he like I'm pretty sure that this is the first actual full episode of Superman that I've seen ever. And it's
welcome.
Pretty funny.
They're not all like this.
How like, something's going on. No one's looking. I better sneak away now. Just like in a crowd, like that is that someone drops Skittles. I'm gonna walk away.
He does do that. Yeah,
it's pretty. It's a thing.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, Brian, you're talking about like the goofiness, the freakazoidness of this episode is like we said it was like Looney Tunes. It was just an all-time high of that kind of thing, because we've had a couple Batman episodes, I think they were probably written by Paul Dini also, that are similar, like goofy Harley Quinn kind of stuff, like runs this direction sometimes, or just, I don't know, various villains that like Condiment King, that kind of thing. We're like, what the fuck is this?
They're kind of over the top in a way.
It's just, it's very unexpected, but it's like, that's Mixie's shtick or whatever is. He's just this fucking weird Looney Tunes man that comes in and to fuck with Superman. It's a very 50s, 60s comic book thing compared to some of the more like, I hesitate to say realistic, but more like, I don't know, threatening things that have been happening in the show so far. Like compare this to like the Promethean or whatever. There's a big alien rock man falling from the sky versus...
Bro could have been super threatening and still been comic booky. Like you said, if he's has the ability to destroy, do anything at the snap of a finger, like, you know, he turned Superman's parents into a painting. Mm-hmm. And like an American Gothic ripoff, but like he didn't use any of it. You know, we get like a montage. We get like a 3-minute montage of the dude building a like death suit that he's going to destroy Superman with, and then he lasts for 3 seconds, and then he's back. He's like cursed back to his dimension for another 3 months.
Instead of using all this power, instead I'm just going to lose at a game of wits.
Well, yeah, I guess I get what you're saying, because like that. I was thinking the whole time. For some reason, I remembered there being some sort of like, oh, this is like interdimensional law or something. Is if you get him to say the thing and then he goes back and then he can't be back for 90 days. Instead, it's just he just makes up that rule off the top of his head. Like, I'm going to fuck with you. Well, but that's not fair. Okay, well, here's the thing. If you can get me to say my name backwards, I'll go away. And then he does, and then he just abides by that rule immediately.
What bad guy follows the rules?
What causes? I guess maybe that's part of the
bad guy.
That's part of the magic or whatever, is that he like has to follow whatever rule he made up, but they don't really specify that. It's never bothered me. It doesn't bother me still, but it's something that I was thinking of just like, why does he? What is causing him to be like sucked up inside himself and turn into a balloon or whatever at the end of the episode, other than just him doing that to himself?
Is there some sort of like chemtrail Bush did 9/11 theory that this episode originally, when it was written, was like really good, but Gilbert Gottfried kept on saying fuck or something like that all the time. And they just had to dumb it down to this. Like, was this originally like an Aristocrats episode? Or?
I highly doubt it, but I like that. They had to cut out so much of it. Oh, what do we do?
The same thing. I mean, Jamie, I don't want to. I really don't want to make you feel bad, and I hope you do. Like, yeah, I hope you love this episode.
I hope you do feel bad.
It's the most unique, like oddball episode I've seen of Batman or Superman.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to regard it as a Superman episode.
Yeah,
because it's just so like not like it's just, we just follow this dude and we watch him destruct himself through the whole episode, and then it's over.
Joe, what do you expect a normal Superman episode, like a type of villain he would fight, would be?
I would expect that it's someone that has a chance at beating Superman ultimately, or makes it at least seem like, or has some sort of special power or machine or something that makes things remotely tasking for Superman.
Yeah.
And this did not.
So...
like, it wasn't even a good game of wits. That's the thing.
The problem I have is like nothing either of you are saying is like I disagree with. Like you're making good points. Like, yeah, it's all true. I think my favorite part about this episode is we've complained so far a couple times in Superman that like Superman himself has been sort of boring. Like he's not really like an interesting character yet to me. Like from these episodes we've seen so far, he's just there to be the guy that saves the day or whatever. And even like some of the stuff that some of the choices he makes are really stupid. And we've been like, why would he do that? And then my argument before was like, oh, well, while Batman like went around the world and trained with all these like ninjas and instructors of various kinds, Superman just like showed up and said, I can shoot lasers from my eyes, and just is figuring this shit out as he goes. So that's why
I can shave my face with lasers from my eyes.
Yeah, I can
reflecting off the mirror. So like in reverse, really.
Yeah, he's using a lot of geometry there to shave his
full
face.
Disclosure, like Superman is my least favorite superhero because he's too OP, really. Like who can beat Superman? Like, unless you have kryptonite, right? That's like the one weakness.
Well, see, this is like, kind of what I'm getting at.
What can you do?
Yeah. So what I'm getting at is like this episode, I think, is the first time we're seeing Superman like use his brain. Like he is actively outsmarting
sort of
this really like hyper active guy. So but you have to admit that compared to previous episodes, Brian, like there's been Superman trying to solve some sort of problem and he's just like, I don't know, punch it. And in this one he's like, he already has it figured out before he shows up every time, like how he's going to beat him, and then he does.
He has 3 months to think about it.
Well, yeah.
Like, and all he ever comes up with is like, I know you are, but what am I?
That's exactly it, Jamie. You're like, yeah, he's using his intellect. He's so smart. This is
no. I'm not saying he's so smart. I'm just saying he's smarter than he has been.
This is third grade intellect. This is him like I don't know.
Brian.
What do you? I don't even know what your name is. How could I get you to say? What does it even sound like backwards? Oh, it sounds like this. Oh, shoot! You tricked me again for the ninth time.
You can't get me to do it again. Your mom says your name backwards.
Well, but I don't know.
But read this word in the paper.
The first couple times that it happened, you guys were like honestly laughing at it, though. You were enjoying
like
it.
I was hoping that he would just get frustrated and then come back and actually like, try. But it was just like, oh no, we're just gonna do this, huh? This is the whole episode. Oh, 3 minutes of flying around the city. Oh, but he's turned himself this time into a atom bomb with kryptonite. Okay, all right, I like it. I like where this is going. There's a chance. Oh, but it didn't matter.
It was a little weird that he like lightly tapped Superman with his kryptonite face, and then Superman hit the Daily Planet ball, which poor Daily Planet globe thing. It just can't catch a break. It just has to get burnt up or exploded every episode. But
Dylan had that point about like they just need to get rid of it because it's a liability. Obviously, it's still being a liability.
It's just, I expected it to like tip over and fall off or something. He just made a little crunch or whatever. But when he hits that, he's like, "Owie!" Like that kind of hurt, and stands up immediately and makes Yasper like, "Ha ha ha! I win! I beat you!" It was like, what do you did nothing.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's there. He's standing up. He's fine.
And that's the other thing is like we've seen Superman like in these situations where like
Sorry for your ears, Joe.
what if the Daily Planet ball did go rolling off and then like it was falling and Superman had to like react to that and he saw like, oh, you don't like it when people have a chance of getting hurt. Like play into that. If he sees that Superman's more powerful than him, then like show Superman where he's weak and then like roll with that instead of the same thing every time.
Yeah, I guess I can agree that it should have ramped up at the end more than it did. Like I think from the moment we have the final like calendar circling the M, like, oh, he's coming back all the way through the end of the episode is a little lackluster. Like he could have been more evil or whatever. You don't get the sense that like Mxyzpixilated is like,
bless you,
gonna could destroy yes, thank you, could destroy the world or whatever. But like I said, reading all these like early comics lately, there's the one where do you remember the second Mr. Freeze episode? They go to see Carl Rossum and he's got all these little robots and one of them is a little flying Batman. They're like, I just want to help. I'm here to blah.
Yeah.
Like it's just this weird goofy. That's Batmite is the name of that character. Like that's just a little robot toy version or whatever. But Batmite is like Batman's version of Mixie, where he's just this weird little imp that comes and fucks around with him. But in his sense, he is like a super fan of Batman that has like a Batman collection in his dimension. Like he's wanting to help Batman, but instead just ends up getting in the way and stuff. We won't see him at all in the DCAU, but the comic I was reading with Mixie and Batmite are having like a fight over like who's the better little fucker. And they're going around and they just keep hopping between like this universe and this universe and they just blow them up every single time. And as I'm reading it, I'm like furiously taking notes on like, okay, so that was that the canonical end of this universe? Like what the fuck? And then you get to the end of the story. Oh, they ran out of universes. Like everything's gone, and they're just in this like white Squidward alone void, and they're about to like punch each other, and then they just start laughing and like, oh, same time next Tuesday, and everything goes back to normal, as if they just do that shit all the time. And so in this, it's like watching Mxyzpixilated like just like flying around, knowing that like he could just do like anything he wanted. He could destroy all of reality, and he's just picking on Superman. He's just showing up in his bathroom mirror to be a little jackass,
but not even doing a good job of it. Like that's the thing. Is like if you're gonna do it, at least be annoying. Like all you're doing is turning people into animals and stuff, and none of them got turned into Iago, which is a little bit of a letdown. Does he come back in a later episode?
Yes.
Oh, well, okay. I guess he gets a chance to redeem himself, although the bar is set pretty freaking
Joe
low.
can come back for that one too.
I feel like when you have something this powerful, you have to be so good at writing. Mm-hmm. And like Gravity Falls basically has this with Bill Cipher, right? Which have you guys seen Gravity Falls?
No, I know what you're talking about. I know the character and the show, but I haven't watched it.
Okay. Well, there's a character that has like this same level of control, and it's like he becomes like a terrifying entity, something like really to be feared. And like I guess we got another one of those like, oh god, is every single supervillain gonna be defeated? Like gets defeated right before the screen goes black, has the oh, wait a minute, I know how to defeat Superman for real. And then it cuts. Like, is that going to be every single villain? Because that's
happened multiple times. I guess it has happened multiple times now, yeah.
Every single
Parasite,
villain.
Livewire.
You have someone from another dimension that has like...
walking on the ground under the water, yeah.
You got someone from another dimension that has ultimate power. This should be like the ultimate foe, really.
Yeah. So... more spoilers for the video I'm working on, but in the comic books, like 4 or 5 years ago, Paul Dini wrote a Mr. Mxyzpixilated like Superman story that essentially confirms that no matter which comic or movie or TV show or animated series or whatever, it's always the same guy. Like because he's from a different dimension, it doesn't matter where he's popping in and fucking with Superman. Like it's always the same Mr. Mxyzpixilated. Like he'll just look different depending on the art style of that universe or whatever. And so in this episode, I'm trying to like watch it and think like, is this the first time he's ever encountering Superman? Because that's what I've always assumed, not, this episode being written 25 years-ish before that comic came out. But when you think of it from that perspective, it's like there's a lot of stuff in the beginning where he's just like he's just there. He's like, oh, Superman is a guy and I would like to fuck with him, and you assume he's just talking about this Superman, but he could be talking about like any Superman. So I wonder if this is the first time he is encountering any Superman, then I'll give him slight leeway for like, I don't know what he can and can't do, or he hasn't tested how powerful he can be with Superman or whatever. And then maybe later he's like, fuck it, I'll just snap my fingers and break his legs off before he can say my name or make me say my name. But what you had a thought on that? He
must have a decent amount of working knowledge if he's like, Warhead with kryptonite. What about that, bitch?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. That's helpful for the video.
You're welcome. Hey, do I get writing credit on the video now?
What were you gonna say, Joe?
Is Paul Dini still alive?
Yeah.
Can we ask him? Hey, what was that?
Well, okay. Let's go to the cast because I want to get to Tribs. For these reasons. I'm just going to ignore any...
Maybe he had the flu the week that he wrote this
Mxyzpixilated slander from now on. We have Tim Daly as Superman / Clark Kent, Dana Delaney as Lois Lane, Gilbert Gottfried as Mr. Mxyzpixilate, Iago in Aladdin and various other Aladdin and Disney projects since. He played a character named Nick Knack in 2 episodes of the Superboy 1990 TV show, which I've never seen. And he was also Art Bones McSalvo in Duckman Private Dick.
Oh my God.
Which we haven't had one of those for a while, so I wanted to make sure I included it. More returning, David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen, Shelley Fabares, whatever, as Martha Kent, Mike Farrell as Jonathan Kent, Sandra Bernhard as Gispitlessness, his wife or girlfriend or whatever. This is so. When I was a kid and I had the big binder full of biographies and shit of these characters, I pronounced it just Pittlesons because how do you know? You just look at it and you're like, what? But then in this episode he says like Gispitlessness, and it almost sounds like that backwards app where you would say things in reverse and then play the
we should probably try that later.
Yeah, we should see
if this means something.
Kill Tipsism is mixed. This is her only DCAU acting credit. She played a character named Nancy Bartlett on Roseanne, which was in many episodes, so I assume it's like a main character of some kind, but I don't know Roseanne. She was Cassandra on Hercules the animated series. How much of that have you watched, Joe?
I've watched a fair amount of it, but
that's
I mean, like when
the
it came
main sidekick girl with the dark purpley hair. And she was Warden on Duckman Private Dick.
I wonder if we're going to find out, like, if we plug that into the app and it's like all these things backwards or just... the writer asking for help.
They've got a gun to my head. Yeah. Tress McNeil as curator, the woman being like, hey, look, it's Rodin's thinker. She was previously Woman in Time Out of Joint, falling down the stairs and time was stopped. Miss Stevenson in Lasac, tour guide in A Little Piece of Home, and Little Boy in Holiday Nights, sitting on Santa's lap. I want a pony and this thing and a monster.
Oh,
or whatever.
Yeah.
And we have Frank Welker as Evil Creatures, which I think was his parents as big, weird monster alien things. Frank Welker was previously Isis, Catwoman's cat, werewolf effects in Moon of the Wolf, Thug in The Demon's Quest, which Joe was here for. That was the guy that he's, no, please, I am a white man doing an accent. He was Serpent in The Main Man and Creature in The Promethean.
That's the real reason I'm here, is because of that connection.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, he's also Freddy in Scooby-Doo stuff. So. Okay, Tribs. In the animal scene in the Daily Planet, it changes from day to night to day again between 3 shots. Didn't notice.
I didn't notice that
when
either.
Superman tricks Mxyzpixilate for the 3rd time with the proofreading, the 3rd word in the first line spells citrimes, while its true spelling should be crimes, effectively C, and there's an IT in the middle that's wrong. Rhymes. However, Mxyzpixilate apparently does not bother to correct this mistake all too thoroughly, for if he did, the resultant spelling of his name would have proven invalid to send him home, because his name does not contain the letter I from the it that Superman inserted into the word.
Oh, so he's not even good at proofreading. God!
This guy sucks! For reference, when boarding and animating the Thinker statue, because of lack of internet research capabilities at the time, director Dan Reba traveled to Pasadena, California to take a photo of a cast of the statue that is on display cosplay at the Norton Simon Museum. He shared that with us, in our first interview with him. He was just pulled up a Polaroid of like, I drove to Pasadena and took a picture of this so we could use it. Yeah. I like in that scene when you there you are, McGurk, and it's the thinker, and when it cuts back to that, he's just suddenly an animated character, like he's not a painting like he was before. So I wonder if he's gonna move.
Man, that was really good. That was a really good joke.
Thinker was also voiced by Frank Welker, who was the voice of Mxyzpixilated in Super Friends, so that was kind of fun. Superman is seen shaving with his heat vision. This comes from the post-crisis comics idea written by John Byrne based on the fact that Superman's skin, hair and all, is too strong for conventional blades to work.
Wait, does that mean he lasers his hair too?
I was just thinking that. Yeah, I guess so.
But his laser isn't strong enough for his skin?
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe he was using like he would have had to be using like a low-level version.
Can he change it?
So he's not melting the glass of the mirror.
These are the questions James has yet to answer.
Okay,
that's right. That's right. That's a whole thing with lasers. Is like, can you reflect it?
We got to remember that for Superman's powers.
If he ever has an episode where he uses his laser vision to break glass, you should be questioning
Yeah. Supposedly, the writers originally wanted Mr. Mxyzpixilated to first appear in the bathroom mirror and get sliced by Clark's razor, explaining why his head fell out of the mirror. But this was rejected as being too grisly for young viewers. Instead, he just takes his head off and throws it out the mirror for some reason.
There's only one bear in this episode, and I don't even think it's a grizzly.
Was it in the Daily Planet?
Yeah.
I didn't know. All right. I like the walrus just flopping out of the doorway.
That was good. That was good.
The newspaper strips. The Mr. Mxyzpixilated one is said to be written by Siegel and Schuster. These are the names of the creators of Superman. All the other strips are homages as well. Deanie the Meanie, named after and starring Paul Dini, is based on Dennis the Menace and Calvin and Hobbes. It was by Bill We Miss You, which is a reference to Bill Watterson, creator of Calvin and Hobbes, who retired in 95, hence the We Miss You, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's
it all went by so fast you can't even read any of that. But Glean is based on Peanuts, starring Shane Glines and Glenn Murakami, who were both like character designers for the show. Dan Danger is based on Dick Tracy, starring Dan Reba. And Zub Street, which imitates Mel Lazarus's Mama and is allegedly a piece of critique by Bruce Timm on the then current drawing style of comics, which I think is just that it's sloppy and bad or something, because I looked it up and I don't think I've read Mama or seen that before.
Mel Lazarus of the Lazarus
Pit. Yeah. I was just thinking, we just bring in Joe for the episodes featuring characters whose, how do you say their name? Who knows? What was it you sent me last night? It was like a Snapchat of like a spice called like Roselle something.
Oh yeah.
You're like, is this a Batman villain?
Yeah. I don't remember what it was even. I never heard of it before.
When Clark tries to read Mxyzpixilated's name out loud, he mispronounces it as Mxyzplik. Before Mxyzpixilated corrects him, Clark's pronunciation is a reference to how it was pronounced in error on Super Friends. Which I think was the first time it was ever said out loud. So it's like, is that an error or is that just
it's an interpretation?
This show saying it differently? Yeah. When Mr. Mxyzpixilated is explaining to Clark how his name's pronounced, he produces a record with the word Yes on the cover in a similar style to that of British prog rock band Yes.
Oh,
Joe. That's why Joe's here.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
And they just started playing Roundabout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what this episode was. The episode takes place over a period of 1 year and 2 days, the second longest time period any episode of the series behind Lasok Part 2. In our interview with Dan Reba in 2021, he speculated that the intention would be that the entire episode is essentially a flashback up until the final segment in present day. You can't have something that takes place in the future. I mean, that's just silly. That's what he said.
but Fifth Dimension.
Yeah. Well, you know, I do like how in the end where he's just like, he's got his like Superman shrine, and that's kind of another like, what has that always been there? Like, has he met Superman before, or did he just make that in the time remaining? Who knows?
Well, you talked about Batmite's collection of Batman stuff.
Batman
I'm like,
stuff,
well, Mix has got it too.
Yeah. The episode marks the first appearance of Streaky, that's the cat, in the Kent home. who in the Golden Age comics became Streaky the Super Cat. However, in this show, he never gains powers, but Mxyzpixlated uses his powers to make Streaky fly around the kitchen, which that's the reference that he's doing.
Okay.
He turns Jimmy Olsen into a turtle, which is a reference to his alter ego from the comics Turtle Boy.
Okay. Really grasping at straws for this episode.
It's like a 60s thing where Jimmy Olsen would just always be some weird monster or creature or something every comic. Lois being transformed into a horse is a reference to an issue of Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane, in which she was transformed into a centaur and then into a full horse by an evil wizard. Near the end, after everything goes back to normal, Lois picks up the carrot, takes a bite out of it, nearly the same pose as Bugs Bunny always did in the Looney Tunes cartoons. I think that's a stretch. She's just eating a carrot, but who knows?
It's hard not to. I mean, I guess if you're like holding it in that kind of Bugs Bunny way, it's something.
She sort of was.
There was a lot of Looney Tunes feel to this episode, and that was definitely not one part of it. This is a very like Marvin the Martian kind of like episode.
Well, especially that laser that comes out, shoots his head off, and it's just this like burnt matchstick where his head was. And that's exactly something that would happen in Looney Tunes. Last couple, the music that plays during the montage of building his robot is a parody of Powerhouse, the instrumental composed by Raymond Scott and popularly known as the assembly line. That's the like thing, and several classic Looney Tunes shorts. I liked the music overall in this, I think.
Yeah,
it was kind of wacky and Looney Tunesy.
It's very Looney Tunesy.
Yeah. And when Pitlessness, whatever the fuck, tries posing for Mixie in different outfits, one of her poses is a reference to famous model Betty Grable and her iconic over-the-shoulder pose that became a popular pin-up during World War II. Another pose is a caricature of Carmen Miranda with the fruit on her head.
I mean, multiple... not the only World War II reference that happened in that.
The Comic-Con, or what do you say? Bonsai!
As he screamed bonsai flying a plane towards Superman.
And you just went, oh. Like, can we do that? Yeah. Last is, per the commentary on the DVD, this is writer Paul Dini's favorite episode of Superman the Animated Series.
Yep.
There's one...
I mean, he wrote it.
There is a trivia in here that was missed, I think. One of the office worker people was turned into a pelican, and there was one time that Gilbert Gottfried saw a pelican.
Yeah, I think we were doing that during the Avatar tribs also, where you're like, oh, the dirt is a reference to the dirt in this other movie. I was surprised at how many tribs there were for this episode, and then reading them out loud, I'm just like, oh, some of these are just kind of like grasping at straws. Yeah, but let's do the things we always do. Okay. Keen effects in this episode.
Honestly, the laser angles shaving that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Bubble Man version of himself at the start was good. Although I was thinking about that prior to watching this episode, was like, do we count the things that he does when he just snaps his fingers as like keen? Because all that happens is this like hand-drawn little sparkle explosion looking thing. It's not like it was, and that was made by reflecting tinfoil into a camera backwards. Like, there's nothing keen about it. It's just a little thing. So I don't know. There wasn't a lot to me, unfortunately, in the Mxyzpixilated episode.
Whatever his, Giselle, whatever girlfriend.
Gisela.
I noticed that she had every time she snapped for her changing outfits, it said snap.
Yeah.
Which, like for one of them, I'm pretty sure it said simp, but like I'm not sure if it did.
I doubt it, but yeah,
that'd be good. From an animation standpoint, I pointed out the lady who is presenting the Thinker. Like, does she just work out a lot, or her knees just the smallest part of her legs?
I thought you said that about Lois. It might have been both. I don't know. But yeah, her, I don't know, Bruce Timm character designs, I guess. Pointy knees.
Feet tend to get really small.
Yeah, we had Bizarro, the like anti-Superman. See, Joe knows Bizarro.
I mean, I wouldn't say thoroughly.
Bizarro, he was in there a couple episodes ago, and he just had like super tiny, like turned in Ian feet as he's going. Anyway,
pigeon toe.
The snap, the like change of outfits that Gisela did on that website that I would print out into the binder. it usually had like, on the Batman page is a model sheet image of Batman like standing there, and then when you would mouse over, it was this cool 90s thing. You put your mouse over it, the image changes to a different image. It's gonna be Bruce Wayne. Like, whoa, you can just change it to Bruce Wayne. And so on the Gispitlessness page, it was just an animated GIF that would just like swap to the different like designs of her from that shot, which I always thought was cool. But I hated it for the sake of printing out the page, because it would just be whenever you hit print, whatever one it was on is what it would choose. So I was just like trying to get the hottest one, No, I don't remember.
You print them all out and you make a flip book out of it. That's stapled to that one page.
Just it folds out into different pages.
Like all the like Superman action figures also that are like
on my wall.
All the memorabilia and stuff that he has in his own home.
Oh yeah.
Like maybe she just wants Superman to come and like cuck him.
Yeah,
or
maybe she
like
put those there. Yeah.
I now we're just gonna start calling her Jizz Pit, but
Jizz Pit. God damn it.
So, Jamie, if I predict something, could you tell me if it's true or not?
I guess so. I mean, they ask you to predict the next episode if you're trying to predict a future episode or something.
I am.
Yeah.
Is it as uncreative as the next time we see this guy, he turns Superman into a monkey?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought it was going to be
from
that literal.
Symbol clapping monkey. Like, that's what I'm going to do next time. No.
Yeah.
solid guess, though.
Yeah. In terms of how in your face it was. Yeah.
This episode's about as deep as a puddle, so I figured it was a pretty good guess.
Not everything has to be a Shakespeare, Brian. Sometimes it can be Jizz Pit.
Can't we just enjoy ourselves? God. Says the person complaining the most about the episode. If Superman the animated series goes no deeper than this, then
it does.
We've already seen it. Like, honestly, the first 3 episodes were like amazing and amazingly deep and like really artful and
ran out of ideas.
I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm leaving. Okay, we were talking about Superman's. So we're on the Superman's powers, which so far we've listed. I'll list them for Joe. We have Ultra Crush, selective dog listening, Pervovision. We have Hedgehoggin / Dreidel powers. That's when he spins real fast.
Okay.
The Hot Look, aka Superman's eye glue.
Hedgehoggin is probably up on Urban Dictionary somewhere.
That's what I thought. I think I said that. I was like, that's probably a sex act. Yeah. Hard Skin, Big Jump / Airbending, Superman's Bifocal Spectacular, Garlic Breath, Light Punching, the Macro Wave, which was a specific episode where the bad guys had a microwave gun that would shoot like radiation blasts at him. And before he possibly knew that he could stop it by just putting his hand out, he just goes like this and it bounces away.
Oh, maybe this will work.
Yeah, so we're just like, I'm glad that you could do that. Yeah. We have Light Griffey Jr., which is where he can catch and throw back energy.
I like that.
And OxyCling, where he can hold his breath a long time. As well as his weaknesses, there's to be jellyfished. I have the real thing underneath. So you
OxyCling should just be like the ability to never get a stain on his suit.
Yeah,
he does have that. Yes.
Yeah, people can't destroy it for some. Prasinophobia, which we figured out was the fear of green. I think was for kryptonite. The Big Suck, I think you probably coined the Big Suck on the Ra's al Ghul getting his soul sucked out of his body episode. But that was the Parasite, which is a guy that can just steal your powers by touching you. Brainiac's microwave hand, where Brainiac held out his hand and a big microwave came out. It was pretty self-explanatory. And Incubation heat lamp, which is red sunlight.
These guys are really into microwaves.
He is, yeah. I should have used the microwave against it. So I think on the Hot Look trademark symbol, aka Superman's eye glue, the ability to like turn down the strength of that, like what would you call that, science man, Brian?
I think I'd just call it the Look and Shave, like Toys R Us, but
shave?
like Look and Shave. Otherwise, it's going to be some kind of like heat looking variability. I don't know.
Is that what we're saying? Is that Look and Shave is the ability to change how high or low the heat vision goes. I don't know.
To put some thought into that one.
Let's just leave that for now. Yeah. How strong 1 through 10? We give Superman how strong he was. We pick an object from the episode. I mean, he didn't really have to do anything.
He stopped a car until it became bubbles.
It became
true.
Bubbles. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought about. Is like about as strong as Bubbles.
He was holding back like it was hard to do. Also,
I kind of I took note of that actually, and I was like, oh wow, he's actually having to try to do this. That's kind of strange. It's just a car.
Yeah, this Superman.
What do you think you are, Spider-Man?
A little bit weak. Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think you are, Batman, trying to hold a car?
I think he's pretty weak. I'm just gonna give him a 1 office bears out of 10.
Okay. I gotta think about it. I'm also gonna give him a 1 though.
1 extra misspelled word on a sheet to be proofread that couldn't be proofread.
Okay. I'm trying to think of scenes we haven't talked about. I don't think we missed anything.
1 bag of chicken feed being dropped onto
1 hot girlfriend out of 10.
Yeah, I did really like that series of dialogue. It was very Simpsons-y, where they're just well, perhaps it's a magical creature from the 5th dimension. He's testing your powers. Why would you say that? Oh, don't worry about they're just
that was
always
good.
remember
That's
that scratching up corn. Yeah.
What about 1 Superman who doesn't care about his coworkers out of 10?
Yeah, it's they don't seem to be too upset about it. Yeah. Leave them alone. Fuck, I don't know. 1 McGurk out of 10, is that fine?
Sure. 1 elementary school recess comeback out of 10.
Yeah. Where's Clayface in this?
He's McGurk.
Yeah, he's McGurk, I guess. That's all that really comes to mind.
I mean, he's literally Clayface kind of, but I don't know what Clayface is, but
he's a Batman villain, shape-shifting big hunk of clay.
I mean, McGurk works pretty darn well, actually.
McGurk works. Subtitle for the episode.
He looks like he works from that sculpture.
God damn it, the fucking soundboard. We have a new segment called the Baldness Hierarchy, aka the Balderarchy, which I'm really glad you're here for, Joe. And it has
expert.
There's a cool song that we play, and I'm just it goes,
sing it.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald, but who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call, the Balderarchy. You see?
Okay.
It's Mr. Mxyzpixilated. Well, the point of the segment is that we go through all the antagonists in the episode, which in this one that was just him. I guess McGurk.
Also McGurk.
Who's more bald though? I would say Mxyzpixilated has the capacity to put hair on his head if he wanted to.
Did he not have a couple the 2 Homer Simpson hairs on his head?
Oh, he might have. Yeah,
I think he did.
So maybe it's McGurk.
Yeah, okay. I think we have to give it to McGurk.
We're double McGurkin.
He was Clayface and the winner of the Balderarchy. All right. So now I'll put McGurk 1. So our candidates so far: Lex Luthor, the Toyman, Parasite, Metallo, Brainiac, Preserver, Serpent, Darkseid, Phantom Zone Monster, Promethean, Weather Wizard, Livewire, Dream Batman, and McGurk.
Lex Luthor is pretty fucking bald.
Yeah, but so are all these other guys. That was the whole point. It was when we started this off, I had in my head oh, there's more bald Superman villains.
Waiting for Jeff Bezos to come up.
Yeah, but then now we're just adding even more. Yeah. It was this episode Books or Hip Hop, Joe?
Hip Hop.
Okay. Yeah. It had quite the energy to it. And
it's like Danny Brown hip hop.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
Unhinged.
It's a wordplay
hip-hop.
episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Top 10.
No.
Number 1.
This is where we disagree.
This is your on leather wings, I can tell.
This is my on leather. I'm just trying to figure out how high up I want to put it.
You're saying how high, and I was thinking that the bottom 14 doesn't really matter the order, so you can just put it anywhere.
No, it has to be unanimous to put it on the bottom, so I'm sorry about that.
That's really unfortunate.
Or am I outvoted because Joe's here? I don't think it can be on someone's top 10 and be on the bottom 10. Have we had this happen before?
Is there an even amount of episodes?
Just 52. Yeah. What?
It can't be the middle one.
The middle 10. We've talked about that for so long that we should have been doing that from the start, but it's okay. I don't know. I mean, is that I think this is the first time, at least in a very long time, that like we've disagreed this hard on an episode. So I feel like, because we didn't put On Leather Wings on the bottom.
The rule is that it has has to be unanimous, and it's not. Right, so it doesn't need to go on there. I just would absolutely put it in there.
You're wrong. You're crazy. Everyone hates you. Everyone disagrees. I can't
believe you'd kick off a single episode for that. That is, again,
I don't even
as an
remember what I just
Animaniacs episode,
Identity Crisis, the Bizarro episode. It's gone.
Yeah, no. Man, again, as like a Looney Tunes episode, as a Freakazoid episode, like, yeah, totally. Like, it's unhinged, it's ridiculous, like totally what I expect. I can't rate this like as a Superman episode. It's not it's just, I don't know, something else.
Well, all right. Joe, you have to.
It's number one. It's the only episode I've seen.
No. You have the Demon's Quest Part 1 and Demon's Quest Part 2, and then we never asked you way back when last year, where does Avatar go compared to those? Do you even remember?
No.
Yeah.
Did I see it? Didn't I miss that one?
No.
Oh.
You missed Showdown.
Okay.
So I fucked up. Someone had said that because you missed the Jonah Hex episode, which was what that was, that I was supposed to refer to you as Jonah this entire time, but I totally forgot to. Oh well. Joe, where do you put this?
The bottom.
Okay. Do you want to give it a number?
What's the bottom number?
I mean, the B-Test podcast guy gave his episode a number 15.
Ooh,
so
let's
true. Give it.
You can do whatever number you want, I think.
It's the most like insignificant number. It does have a Gilbert Gottfried though.
68.
27.
We're almost there. 27. Okay.
My thing that I brought.
Oh yeah, Joe brought a thing.
So I thought it'd be fun to do like a little bit more trivia for both of you.
Okay.
So
I don't know what this is that Joe is.
I have 2 trivia questions for like 2 for each of you.
Okay.
Forgive me if I pronounce some things wrong, but
Mxyzpixilated.
yeah, right. So I'm going to start with James, if that's okay.
No.
And I'm hoping that these factoids are correct as well. Some of them will be on topic, some of them will not. Superman's general given date of birth is February 29th. Clark Kent's is June 18th, the day his rocket landed on Earth. What was Superman's date of birth on the Kryptonian calendar?
Damn it, I have no idea.
Want to take
I mean, I'm going to guess it's not a Earth calendar thing.
I actually know this one.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I don't think so. What's the joke, Brian?
Pants 27.
Yeah. What was the other one? George or whatever?
It was George, Relish, and Pants for the calendar months. That was funny. That was really funny.
See, this episode's good, you idiots.
The answer is the 35th year of Urix, year 9998.
I believe you.
I don't know. Do you know that word?
Yorks? Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Does that sound familiar at all to you?
Nope.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Stumped
That's
him.
a good one.
Okay, Brian, your question.
Okay.
What is the powerhouse of the cell?
You're not even going to ask him. Superman. I know this one.
It's not mitochondria, though.
Oh.
There's been this whole big thing where it's like not like that, like that's like it's a misnomer, and I can't remember why. So the answer you're probably looking for is mitochondria, but it's actually some other related thing.
Don't throw your ribosome shit at me.
Gatorade? I think Gatorade's the powerhouse.
Gatorade.
My cells, yeah.
Okay. All right, James, you ready for your next question?
No.
Okay. The Bizarros, imperfect duplicates of Superman and his friends, had their own cube-shaped world and their own peculiar chant.
Yes.
Recite the Bizarro code.
I don't know the chant. God damn it. Is it like we Bizarros something caveman speak type of dialect?
You have the correct sentiment, but it is not. Brian, do you know?
No.
Us do opposite of all earthly things. Us hate beauty. Us love ugliness. Is big crime to make anything perfect on Bizarro World.
Can this be the new national anthem?
Fucking getting James here. This one.
You really are,
Great.
yeah.
And I have one last question for Brian as well.
Bring
Are you
it.
prepared, Brian?
No.
Okay.
Bring it.
This one I did some direct quoting from Wikipedia on, so you'll have to.
Oh,
I don't know
it'll
if
be
we have
real.
to cite anything, but
Sick.
this is a Superman question.
Oh.
So
I don't know it.
We'll see. Superman is a superhero who appears in American comic books published by DC Comics.
Yeah.
The character was
True or
created by
false?
writer Jerry Siegel and artist Joe Shuster, and debuted in the comic book Action Comics #1, cover dated June 1938, and published April 18th of 1938. Superman has been adapted to a number of other media, which includes radio serials, novels, films, television shows, theater, and video games. All of this being said, what letter is faced on the front of Superman's suit?
You know, Joe, I know you're doing this as like a joke, but technically,
Technically, it's not an S. It just looks like one. Is that what you're going to say, Jamie?
yeah, it's the Kryptonian, the House of L seal. Yeah,
We're in America.
It's an
it's
S.
an S was the answer. Yeah,
Anyways, those are my trivia questions
thank
for
you,
you guys.
Joe. Thank you. Very good. Very good. Joe, you must bring trivia to your
That'll be
guest
my
appearances.
thing
yeah.
now. Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that.
Welcome to Mail, where
Welcome.
the soundboard might work. If apologies in advance, because I don't know what actually is recording and what's just what I'm and Brian and I are hearing, but apologies in advance if something just goes in the middle. That's not me doing that vocally just now. That wasn't actually the soundboard. I don't know if you
What?
can tell.
I thought that was a soundboard.
Yeah, it was an impression of the soundboard. Yeah.
Amazing.
Don't spill tea on your soundboard, people. Don't put a drink. I even like. I felt even stupider. Well, not even stupider. Continually stupid. To put when I had it completely open to try and clean it out a little while ago. I was like really frustrated with something, and I'm like, I need a sip of my coffee, and just took a drink of my coffee like over the top of the open soundboard. And I'm like, what if, man? What if I just poured it all over? I could just do it.
It
right
wouldn't be
now.
a whole lot different, but
No.
yeah.
So yeah, who knows what's wrong with this? Maybe I'll get a new one. Maybe I'll fix it. Maybe I won't. Maybe the podcast will end forever.
That's okay.
That yacht. That one
But hey, the
small
buttons work.
extra yacht, put it over.
We
Well,
dropped
kind of.
one
They don't light up at all.
Our weekly yacht
Oh, yeah, those.
into the comment box. There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
I'm so
Too
mad.
bad we're all
At least I am.
just Dylan Pollock.
If you'd like to, whatever. What?
I was gonna say, surely Dylan Pollock can fix that.
yeah, I am Dylan Pollock, so I will be able to. If you, Dylan Pollock, would like to reach out like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, you can send us a brief email. Or a quick email, a short email.
Punctuated.
A punctuated email with lots of periods and exclamation points and such. Dylan's going to do that next time. Or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com, or leave a comment on today's episode on the Podtower YouTube channel. Well, please do not spoil anything past this episode for Brian.
Because if you do, I'm gonna cry. And
Yeah.
that's just gonna be the whole next podcast, just me weeping for an hour and a half.
Me ducking awkwardly the whole thing. And you just... It'll be our best reviewed episode
I know
ever.
we're reaching our high water mark.
I think so. Wow, we'll be coming up on in June. Will be like 3 years of doing this already.
That's not real.
Anyway, this comes from Scotty Cameron. Lois Lane found herself in a Diet Riddler's crosshairs. It says, "Hey, Yoppie dudes. So are you ready for the Cape and Cowl conspiracy of Superman episodes? I love the traps Lightner invents for Lois Lane, even using her car as a death trap. Given the trappy nature of this episode, I left a fitting voice message. What do you think it'll be, Brian? Maybe Saw related?"
No?
It'll have something to do with Saw movies and...
Hello, Yoppie dudes.
Oh, what a surprise.
I want to play a game. For the last 3 years, you've watched the DCAU in the controversial Airdate order.
We have.
However, given the nature of this episode and Lois Lane's tests, I'm very proud of my apprentice, Mr. Lightner. I'm taking you on a detour.
There.
You are going to watch every episode of the DCAU that's like a song, starting from Cape and Cal Conspiracy, heading into Target, all while in the same laser trap that Lois was in. Can you watch them all? Live or die, make your choice. I'm definitely not Dylan.
I love those. I mean, we can. It's whether or not we'll be watching them as a pile of cubes on the floor or not. So live or fry. I made my choice. This is from Lanola Cola. Tug on the Super Cape. This ep was really books. So we bid 2023 adieu as we look ahead to a hopeful 2024. Thus, we finish the year with an episode target, a.k.a. Okay, I didn't have any good nickname for this ep, so I'll call Edward Lightner, the Simp Man. This episode surprised me with its well-made mystery thriller plot. The list of suspects may have been short, but the episode showed some palpable antagonism that Julian and Detective Bowman have with Lois, thus placing them in suspicion. Detective Big Lips, you mean. I legitimately didn't expect Lightner to be the culprit, but Lois's deduction made me rewind to the crucial clue that caught Lightner red-handed. This episode got me thinking, how very books of it. I attached my report on all the shell sightings and BTAS, including Mask of the Phantasm and the Sega CD cutscenes, plus time codes for all sightings. You can look through it on your off time. And to conclude with my end of the year questions, discovered any new artists or added any new albums to your collection? I managed to find the Cowboy Bebop albums with the opening ending songs Tank and the Real Folk Blues, the Gold Experience by Prince, and all of George Michael's studio albums on CD. Well, did you add any? You got that Over the Garden Wall vinyl, right?
Oh yeah. Are we talking just vinyl or just new musicians?
I don't know. Whatever. You've heard of Steam Powered Giraffe? It's not a joke that the podcast would know at all.
No, but man, it makes me happy. That's like day one.
It is, yeah.
Day one of Brian's memory being crap.
I was just going to say from day one, Brian, maybe day two, Brian already forgot that he asked me that question. Anyway.
New musicians, I think we talked about it. Viagra Boys has been like a really cool discovery for me this year. Have you had any?
You heard of this Tattoo? All the things she said.
That's a jam.
Oh, Thumpasaurus is one I've been listening to a lot because of you.
Yeah. Are you coming to the show on the 21st?
Oh, I should.
Yeah, you should.
I forgot about that again.
Unforget.
Yeah. Okay. When you recorded for Superman Loves Kisses, was a mistletoe setup? It was not. There should have been. Till we up again in the new year. Thank you. This is Metropolis Mayor Franklin Berkowitz. My dear Metropolizers, I have recently passed the Make Airbags Small Again Act, which gives the city that power to confiscate any car with a huge airbag. Confirming the speediness of your government, we have done so before any major accidents were caused by huge airbags. What's that Commissioner Henderson is calling? Hey, Bill. What? Okay. Dear Metropolisians, we have done so after only one near-fatal accident happened with a huge airbag. What's that, Bill? It wasn't an accident? Someone who was trying to kill that Superman woman? So you put Turpin and Sawyer on the case, right? It's their area of expertise. Oh, they're on vacation. Right. So who did you choose? You gave some guy she's done an expose on the job of protecting her? Oh, maybe that's why he was binocularsing her, I guess. To keep an eye on her?
It's pretty
I don't know.
Whoa.
What?
Okay, so like quick aside.
Whoa.
I've been I've befriended and have been feeding a squirrel.
And he's here on the podcast, everyone. Welcome to Squirrel.
I named him Buddy. And he likes to eat the treats I leave out for him while watching me through my like glass door. And I noticed in the last like couple of weeks, I'm like, Buddy's kind of chonking up a bit. Like he's getting kind of thick with like 3 C's and a G. And I just heard the like jump from the tree that's kind of over the studio area here onto the roof, and it was like a notable thud, followed by a ba-da-dum of maybe slightly heavier footsteps than before.
Can we say this is canonically the same like squirrel dropping nuts on the roof from like 40 podcast episodes ago?
Almost certainly, actually.
Sweet. Dylan Pollock, Target. James, it's a new day, and I want to stay on the up and up and be a good fellow as you good and gather the mail. Edward Leitner has left a bullseye playground for Lois, hoping to send her to Cloud Island and create his new favorite day with his made-by-design inventions, which are items you surely can't just get from a market pantry. Long story short, if you haven't gotten it, these are all Target brands. Geez, I gotta explain everything. Okay, thank you.
You got it in me.
It's time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on Target, or how I'm going to react if James and Brian ever don't play my voice clip. Disclaimer, that's not a threat. It's a joke. Can we talk about the fact that Clark needlessly spills coffee on his suit when he could have just said, like, gonna go take a shit? He could have said anything
We said exactly
else. Nobody was paying attention to him. So I have to talk about when Lois is in the car and he's deploying the airbags and he's in control of the car and he's going to crash the car and kill her with the crash. I couldn't help but feel terrible for this joke I thought of, but I'm pretty sure this is how the Queen killed Princess Diana. I'm sorry.
No, Dylan. No.
Maybe stop the voicemails here.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, so I'm going to rewind a little bit.
Sorry, everyone. I'm not proud of that, but it could not stop appearing in my head. On a lighter note, it's cool to hear Robert Hayes be serious and threatening, since I always think of him as either the guy from Airplane or as the dad in Homeward Bound, but he's in full-on Jigsaw mode in this episode, laying traps and trying to kill Lois. But let's get to the question of the week. James' favorite part. What are you guys going to do when the Op Tower is coming after you? Can you take the Op Tower in fisticuffs the way you took their content and ideas?
Just the same exact way, yeah.
Actually,
their new episode's pretty good. I haven't listened to the full thing yet, but I liked the new intro theme. And Ted said that they're going to show up at the live show and throw eggs at it.
Yeah. I told them to come inside and throw eggs, and that's actually I suspect they're not listening to this because they're probably like can't afford a Spotify subscription or whatever.
They can't afford headphones.
Yeah. But we stole them. My thought is that they come inside to throw eggs, and then we're going to be in there with like an egg launcher or something like nastier. Yeah. So like it'll just be like
we should get one of those like t-shirt shooting guns for the 12 people that show up
and shoot it at the Yop Tower.
Just point blank. Yeah. Would you like a Yoppie shirt? Hold open your mouth.
Should I look up t-shirt cannon rentals? The answer is yes.
It's actually pretty expensive, I think, for those guns. Anyway, I'll read you Meatballs McGee sent in
it's only $300.
Oh, so sorry. Did you want me to say this again? Meatballs McGee said 103, baby.
Yeah.
Dear Jimmy and the Brain, we made it to 103. Woo! Don't care what anyone says. I like Bizarro. He may be he's a lot of wrong, but he got the right spirit sometimes. Also, he got further with Lois in 5 minutes than Soups ever did in like a year. Just something to think about. Now on to more pressing matters. 104. Woo! I like this episode. It's interesting to see Lois be actually hunted for what she's been doing like this, instead of just being in the wrong place, wrong time. But I think a future episode does this idea far better. All in all, a decent mystery. See you dudes for 105. Woo! Good night and fuck you from Big Bus. Thank you. I think I need to put a new movie on for the boys. Hang on a second.
I'll just be here. Look at that VU meter. That went up to -9. That's pretty cool. Do you know how VU meters work, listener? It's the like... For like an animation of like a recording studio, there's like the little level things going up and down. They used to be like needles, but now it's like a electronic like up and down jumpy bar thing. Anyway, that's a VU meter. I'm using Logic's built-in compressor, which I think is actually pretty good. It's a good DAW, which is like a digital audio workstation. It's like how you produce music or record stuff. There's a lot of different DAWs out there. Logic's the one I've been using since 2008. When I was working at a Mac dealer kind of place, I got a new Mac and I got Logic on it, and I was like, this is how I'm gonna make electronic music now. And then so I did. This is good. This is good content, right? Okay, I didn't hear anybody saying no. We've been working on a project for like a decade now. It's like a 24-track album that's based on the life of the Tin Man. It's instrumental right now, but I've kind of played around with the idea of adding lyrics because people like vocals more than just like instrumentals a lot of the time. Oh, Jamie's is back.
Jamie's is?
We'll continue our conversation later.
I was hoping you would just keep saying that, and I was just going to start Ryan Hip's voice message in the middle of it to add to the chaos. I'm just going to do it now.
What was the name of Lana's shitty ex-boyfriend in the original Superman movies? Oh, right, Brad.
Suspicious.
Thanks for proving my point and making the exact same vaccine joke I had already made, Brad.
Go have some coffee with cream or something.
It's everybody's favorite Tarjets, or Lois Lane in the case of the disappearing cleavage, or Clark Kent in the mystery of where the fuck my seatbelts go, or Lois Lane in the Great Glass Wonkavator. Lois wins the incredibly phallic Excalibur Award, which comes in handy throughout the episode, and in many other ways too, I'm sure. What's great about the villain in this episode being an incel is it's a perfect primer for when you get to Batman Beyond, where every villain's an incel. Seriously, half the villains on that show are incels. I'm dead fucking serious.
Especially the most oppressed group of all, gamers.
That's actual audio from Batman Beyond, by the way. Trust me, bro.
Suspicious.
Oh yeah, play along at home. During the week, it was on Leather Wings and Fun and Games in House and Garden, just like the far gone days of the Kennedy assassination.
That's right, Lisa.
Suspicious.
Jesus Christ. You never know what you're going to get.
You never know.
I feel like the Excalibur Award's a little too sharp for those activities, but I wouldn't know, I suppose. If we can report back. All right, we're swapping over to the next one. Lonola Colas for Mxyzpixilated. Happy New Year's, James and Brian from the Fifth Dimension. Since Target became the Underdwellers or Everything is Bad of STAS, I hope this episode is considered the dreamscape of STAS. Well, it was for some people. So Mxyzpixilated, a.k.a. Digit, the bird from Cyberchase / Santa from Billy and Mandy Save Christmas, was in the DCAU. I guess those are other Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm guessing.
Our own Great Gazoo / Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit. You got your merry melodies in my Fleischer Superman cartoon. Yeah, that one is very accurate. Gilbert Gottfried, could you name a more iconic voice in entertainment? There's plenty, I'm sure of it. And the DCAU crew snagging him as the fifth dimensional being was a smart choice. Although I have to wonder if Gottfried could have been in BTAS, perhaps as Penguin. His voice would fit that design. Maybe.
He'd have to manipulate it a little bit, I think. But I also don't think that's his voice, right?
Yeah, he's putting on a character constantly or whatever, or was. Rip. But there's I think it's the fourth Toy Story has been on in the background, and it's Randy Newman doing all the music, and there was a part where the music, I don't remember what the words are, but the music, they're going somewhere, some adventure or whatever, and it's like boom, 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 boom. And then I just go basement every time. It doesn't continue from there, but I like it. And although I inexplicably enjoyed Target, Mxyzpixilated was the stronger episode. Well, okay.
Yes, it is.
I'll get back to y'all faster than Gispitlessness' outfit changes, and hopefully Brother Broderick will be as accurate as Clark using his heat vision to shave in predicting the next episode. Till we yap again.
It wasn't the
that was a good
furthest prediction I've ever had in my life.
No. This is the mayor again. Dear Metropolitanians, I have to tell that, has anything happened, Michael? No? Okay, as I was saying, dear Metropolish, it has been a year since any weird shit happened, proving my administration's commitment with, the point is I did something, probably. Michael, this is the part where you tell me a square-shaped purple jellyfish is destroying the gummy bear factory or something. No? Nothing? Really? So we're supposed to do real politics now? Tax reform, I guess. We're expanding the subway to the suburbs up north. No giant ghost Confederates or anything? You sure? This feels weird. Let me call this guy just to check. Beep, boop, 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 boop. Those are dialing sounds. Hey, Lex, this is the mayor. You wouldn't be doing anything illegal by any chance, would you? Come on, you know I can't do anything against you. Might as well tell me. Absolutely nothing? You've been taking sabbatical this year? Okay, what about Bruno and his boys? What? A portal to hell? And those superpowered guys are laying low? All right, see ya. Let me open the window a minute. Yo, Superman! Will you help me a minute? I need to know if there's any weird shit going on. It's the mayor, by the way. Motherfucker never answers. Okay, I guess it's official. Metropolis is a normal city, and I'll be a regular politician from now on, forever and ever. Happy New Year. Hey, this has been a while. Kale from the Kryptonite Preservation Society.
Hey.
I'll admit this one is a technicality as it's a person. Oh, Mixie's face, I guess. But when you have so little to work with, you've got to take what you can get. Size, a nuclear warhead. Color, green, gray, and purple. Current location, non-existent. Previously from the Fifth Dimension. Vibe, Men in Black by Will Smith. Still in Japan, tracking down a possible lead regarding a dragon statue, so wish me luck.
Good luck.
I've started to make plans to return, and so hopefully we'll see you in March. Until next time, Kale, founder, curator, and director of operations at the Kryptonite Preservation Society. Thank you. Charles Motosierra regarding Mxyzpixilated. For those who did not realize that we have just watched is objectively the best episode of Est. It doesn't get any better from here, Brian. If anyone disagrees, I ask you this. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay. Brian, I'm usually chill with this kind of stuff, but if you didn't like this episode, I no longer consider you cool, as you are surely a cool person and a fellow Heart of Ice enjoyer. I have it in good faith that this is your favorite episode now. Updating the how to easily beat your villains list, we have Mxyzpixilated, be clever and trick him, or I guess you could just remind him how he could be making out with his girlfriend right now. Anyway, Jimmy Boy probably already talked about the parody comics with the people who work on the show, but I ask you this, do those comics actually exist in the DCAU, or was Mixie doing a meta joke for the audience? And do Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster exist in this universe? Were they both alive in the 1990s? I don't know. Moving on. Dylan Pollock. Dylan Pollock, I'm not spelling out the name of this episode, and you know it.
It's time for the thoughts of the week from Dylan Pollock on Mxyzpixilated, or give Gilbert Gottfried an Emmy just for being able to make that name sound effortless. So, turning the Kents into chickens, that's just foul. Also, how do his eyes, when he does the shaving thing, not destroy the mirror, but do destroy his hair? And how come his hair is not super strong, requiring some sort of super scissors?
It
just doesn't make any sense. Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that one. Oh man, it's 30 pants already. I gotta go. All right, it's time for the question of the week. James' favorite part. Do you guys appreciate episodes that try breaking free of the normal tone, how this Superman is more comedic, or are you like, why is all this comedy in my soups? Let me know.
You'll find out by listening to this podcast episode that I prefer, or I don't prefer it, I like it. Brian apparently didn't.
It's just, man, I've been thinking about it.
Joe, first of all, I want to mention that Joe said he showed his wife the episode.
Yeah.
She didn't like it at all. He said he's appreciated it more the second time, but still didn't love it or whatever.
Okay.
So maybe, I don't know.
That's kind of like, I think I could be on that boat of just like, it's just so shocking. Like it's so oddball. It's so out there.
You don't expect it out at all.
Yeah. And so like watching it again, being like, okay, this is going to be chaos. Maybe, I don't know. Like, I feel like I like the character, but I don't like how they wrote for it.
Sure. I think I was chatting with Joe a little bit about how, like, I think I'm in agreement that it starts off strong and then just goes nowhere. But I still like the episode a lot because of how strange and different it is. But Joe had said, like, if this was your first Superman episode, like, oh, that's a really sucky way to start off or something. And I was like, I think it's just that you're like, oh, Superman, I know what that is. And then you watch the episode and go like, I apparently don't know what that is. But I'll later on, I'll encourage him like, hey, maybe you watch this one also or whatever.
I mean, like, put Lasaka in front of him.
Right, exactly. So some of the stronger ones, yeah. These are comments on Identity Crisis or Superman Loves Kisses. This is from Euphonium Star, Damage Report, Criminal's Car Tire, Section of Traffic Barrier Off Cliff, Big L on the Club Building, Building Wall, LexCorp Lab Ceiling, Wrecking Ball and Crane, Drawbridge Motor and Seam, Daily Planet Globe Pedestal, Restaurant Wall and Door, Lab Go Boom, and Lois's Leg. Thank you. I salute you. Fiacre Horgan, happy holidays, James and Brian and all the Yoppie listeners. Have a great festive season that's over now. And remember, if you see a Santa that looks suspiciously like Bullock, please report him to security. He's been showing off his gun and his Hydra's back to children. We need to put an end to this as soon as possible. On Christmas Eve, instead of coming downstairs and finding Mom kissing Santa under the mistletoe, it was Superman. Then he kissed me, then the family dog. There's been something bizarre about that dude recently. I just can't put my lips on it. I like to imagine Bizarro was Superman, in Superman perfect form or whatever for much longer than we saw in the start of the episode.
Oh, yeah, it's like 2 weeks
going around
of it.
kissing people. Yeah. Evil Banana Baby. Oog oog hag hag. Translation 3 weeks in a row. I live in a comment section on a YouTube channel, you psychopath. Ask Banana Man or one of their kids for money. Why didn't their landlord come through the banana split in time and space? This is simply not okay. Thank you. Oh. And the Banana Baby, Goo Goo Gaga, father is still seeming to be missing my prayers to Clayface, I mean Dylan. No, sorry, I mean Dylan fucking Pollock. Doesn't seem to be working. On an unrelated note, so is Bizarro's suit just his skin? So that means his planet, on his planet, the S is nipples? Okay. I like that version of okay there. LexCorp cares, Jack and Brosnan. It's not weird to kiss Superman. A few months back, Mr. Luthor accidentally tripped and knocked me off the top floor balcony of LexCorp Tower, an honest mistake any of us could make. Superman scooped me up and gave me a smooch. I think it was that moment I felt like a real citizen of Metropolis. Obviously, I still hate Superman like we all do, but getting your Superman smooch is just a part of life here in Metropolis. Please try to be less judgmental going forward. Banana Landlord, rent, you're a month late again. Yeah, we're whatever late to mail. Shut up, I don't care. Super Luigi 64, I saw mommy kissing Superman. Noah O, you guys forgot to mention Superman's new power, the super kiss. Nick, he certainly did it in that episode. Nick Sorensen, me and Bizarro Nick from Bizarro World, where everything am opposite of your world. Me no understand this episode. How can Bizarro be cloned when everyone know he am star of Bizarro the Animated Series and critically acclaimed video game Bizarro 64? Oh my God. In fact, me am no sure what even doing here when normally I'm subscribed to Yop Tower database. This am supposed to be failed ripoff channel that got suspended with podcasts from Bizarro James and Bizarro Brian, never making it past On Leather Wings. Until last week, no big ol' whoosh, me did not just fly away. Thank you. Wency 209, looks like Jack in the Box and Ben 10 are finally doing Identity Crisis, aka can we stop and get some Superman? We have Superman at home. Let me start off by saying, how the fuck did Lois not notice that Superman, or more accurately, the fake Superman / Bizarro, and Clark look literally the same? I mean, yes, I know that Clark wears glasses and Superman just has the hair curl, but come on, Lois, they have the same face structure and everything. Mm-hmm. For a news reporter, Lois seems to not at all notice that Superman and Clark look very similar, literally not one hint of suspicion. I'm now convinced that all the people of Metropolis are semi-lobotomized. A truly that's not how that works moment. One of the few times that I agree with Bray Boo about the Superman lore. Anyways, folks, stay up.
You guys kind of look like identical twins.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, it's just...
Anybody ever tell you that?
Just how it works on my planet. I mean, which is Earth. Mark Aquino, Target, or maybe mom was right and journalism school was a mistake. I liked how Clark is getting more clever with his excuses to sneak off and change into his soupy suit, spilling soup on himself because he's Superman. Personally, I dug this episode. You do feel a genuine sense of danger when it comes to Lois's safety, even if there are plenty of moments that would evoke the "that's not how that works" button. This one. I had forgotten who the real culprit behind the attempts on Lois' life was, and once it was revealed, it wasn't that surprising, at least for me. Goddamn incels. Sure was a lot of talk of kisses last week. Like, damn, Brian, control yourself. There's banana children in here. I had promised to make something special for the end of the year, but unfortunately, I really wasn't happy with what I'd written, so it's going to have to be put on the back burner for a while. Sorry, folks. This was a really odd year for yours truly, but the best part of it was becoming part of a really great group of friends, which I never expected to happen again for me, but I'm so glad it did. He's talking about us, of course. And of course, still being part of this amazing community of ours never stops being great. Here's hoping 2023 was a good year for you all, and if it wasn't, I do genuinely hope that 2024 will be a better one for you. Mm-hmm. Take care of yourselves and each other. Try to stay optimistic, as our old pal Jack Ryder would say. And as I said before, you're the absolute best. Never ever forget that. Well, he didn't say it before because I skipped that part because I'll read it for the last one. Until next year, crash. Hey, what the? Me want to speak now. That a Taylor Swift reference. Oh boy, wasn't expecting to end the year on a cliffhanger, but hey, that's this comment section for you. I never quite know what's going to happen next. Until next year, whoa, don't push me out of the way. Yeah. Till last year, big old poop, me am flying away. And lastly, we have comments from Target, or $3 and a Kit Kat. This is from Cora Valentine, who's a new one. Welcome.
Hey.
I think, anyway. Hello from the past, J. Jonah Jameson and brother Rick the Brick Broderick.
Hey.
I'm reaching out to you like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, having only listened up to episode 26. Bri. Happy 176th birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Asked if any of the listener hadn't commented yet, then they should do so. I'm writing this message as a time capsule for only me. First off, I want to say I really hope all this build up to your first on-pod kiss is worth it. Honestly, though, I think you guys are annoying and should let that soundboard fella speak more. Yeah. Actually, I hope by the time I catch up to this episode, you both aren't on it anymore and the Op Tower reigns supreme from on top of the Hydra's back. I hope you're liking Superman, Bryson. Toyman is so lame, right? This podcast has melted my heart of ice with its cool penguin squawks. I give this podcast a 5 stars out of 5 yops. Stay yapping. You blew it, you jerks! By the way, the word you were looking for in like episode 2 was objectifying.
Oh my God.
Very good.
That's
very
a
good.
time capsule and a half right there.
It really is, yeah. I know. We need some more of those.
Yeah.
Dylan had replied to that. Actually, we kept the names, but the podcast is now just me and Scarlowy One reviewing old Earl the Mechanic and What's Jimmy Olsen Up To episodes. Sorry to disappoint. This is from Tipped Apricot.
Hey.
Sound of falling through several dimensional portals. I don't know where I've been or have been. Where I've been or have been. Yeah, that's the same. I've been busy. Oh my God. This is the only stop I can ensure in this dimension. Oh God, what do I say? London fog, more like London pog, James. Enjoy the Earl Grey. Fading into a closing portal.
Can you imagine having like a trans-dimensional travel and then being like, I'm making a T-quip and then taking off again.
Yeah, I just gotta say this real quick. Yeah. Fiacre Horgan. Maneely. Oh, sorry. I mean, McGurk. Banana baby, goo goo gaga, motherfucker. Translation. I can't tell what broke Brian's brain more, my existence or the title of the next episode. Bikanon. I get where he's coming from, but I have a problem with Superman having super mass when his powers are being nullified. Such as when Lightner uses the red sun radiation. If he had supermass all the time, he'd be falling through floors, ruining bathroom scales, and people would hurt themselves when they accidentally bump into him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sticking with Soups having to actively exert his powers, and so when his powers are forcibly shut down, he's basically a dude. So I don't have a problem with a guy walloping another guy and not ruining his hand. Okay. I guess that's a decent explanation.
Yeah.
But it was a... Usually we see Superman like, I'm exposed to the incubation heat lamp. I'm slowly shriveling into a normal person. This was just like, power up the Iron Man suit, punch! Like he wasn't ready. He wasn't powered down yet or whatever. But that's at least slightly okay. Slightly okay, says Banana Slightly Man. Euphonium Star, Damage Report, Clark's stained pants, big green glass sword, soft top of Lois's convertible, section of traffic barrier, Daily Planet roof. Daily Planet roof's gonna be on every fucking list. Helicopter, elevator, unknown Lightner device number 1, unknown Lightner device number 2, unknown Lightner device number 3, Lightner's window, Lightner's roof, Lightner's red sun power vest thingy, Lois's jacket sleeve.
This is incredible.
Keeping good track. Jungi Fulmer, Brian's reaction to Mxyzpixilated title reveal was something I'd been anticipating, and he absolutely delivered. The Excuse Me Princess Super Show. Between Lois's nightie and Target and Mixie's wife in this, I think it's time to send the B-Test crew to the cold showers.
Agreed.
Yeah. Namananab KO. We have Banana Landlord. It's a free country, not a rent-free country. And finally, last first, we have Mark Aquino. Mxyzpixilated, a.k.a. Don't You Just Hate It When Your Parents Become Hungry Alien Monsters? New year, new yop. And we're starting the year off with another favorite of mine, the DCAU debut of McGurk. Come on, we're burning the midnight oil here. Bizarro Mark, can you get rid of this guy, please? Doki Oki, big old poop. He tackles Mxyzpixilated like a football player and crashes out of the room. That's better. There's a screaming baby.
Yeah, there sure is. Okay, so like before we were talking about like MIDI controllers and DAWs and all that sort of thing. And like the cool thing is that you can, he's back so soon.
Were you continuing where you left off?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm good. Good. I'll get that later, I guess. Oh, that's better. Oh, yeah. Bizarro Mark lives with me now. All I need to do is feed him orange peels and duct tape, and he behaves like a semi-obedient pup. FYI, that motherfucker eats duct tape like it's fruit by the foot. Anywho, this just found that out by accident, I guess.
I want that. I just want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, I was just thinking that
duct
too.
tape like fruit by the foot. And then just no
like
explanation.
Slurping it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
No graphic
picture.
needed.
Yeah, I know. Anywho, this is one of my absolute favorite STAS episodes. Of course it is. Late great Gilbert Godfrey was a really inspired choice to play Mr. Mxyzpixilated. His trademark shrill voice somehow fits the character like a glove. Pair that with some great animation, a terrific musical score, and in my opinion, one of Paul Dini's best scripts, and you get one of the most fun episodes of any DCAU series.
What if I just hate fun?
I think that's probably it. Yeah.
Okay.
As I try to pull a hair off my tongue.
That's fun. I hate it.
That is fun. Yeah, please stop. Don't pull anything out of your mouth ever again. Pulls fruit by the foot of duct tape. Rewatching this episode also reminded me of a weird thing that happened in 2013. I forget if it was to tie in with the theatrical release of Man of Steel or its home video release, but there was this marketing campaign thing that asked how Superman shapes his face if a typical razor wouldn't work. Well, as shown here, all he needs to do is point his heat vision or hot look at a mirror and it'll bounce off and laser off his facial hair. I feel like that's the sort of comic booky detail our beloved brother Brian would be frustrated over, but at this point, he better get used to it. Sorry, bud.
That's the other thing. I'm just not used to... Why am I not used to the whole, like, Superman chaos of, like, I don't know, fifth dimension, go!
Well, I think it's just, like, I don't know, Batman was a lot less, like, goofy or whatever, and so to have such a goofy episode. I get it. I think maybe it's, I have the full picture. I watch Mxyzpixilated. You have up to Mxyzpixilated. You watch Mxyzpixilated. Like, that's the difference, I guess, but I don't know. Boss Biggest Bear Hugs, the #1 podcast host, and this is your multiverse of ours. Oh, what did he call us last time? I'll at least say that. It was Junie B. Jones and Birdseed. This time it is Jar of Pickles and Bad Temper.
Yes.
I think your jar of pickles.
Definitely. Yeah.
Praise to our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast. Remember to tell Gab that she rules. She does rule. Likewise, of course, to his loyal disciples, Scarlo1, Batgirl Fangirl, Scotty Cameron, Wency209, Tip Tapricot, Key Machine, Jordan, Zane Beatty, Chris Knife, Lanola Cola 1, Pedro, Ashley Touch and Scrudge, the Banana Family, Ryan Hip, and of course, all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours. You're all the best. Never forget whatever I just tried to say. Hope everyone had a good holiday season, and for those who need to hear it, Lord knows I probably will at some point, you deserve to have a great year. I know how daunting it can be to make a New Year's resolution and to stick to it. You shouldn't have to if you really don't want to. If you feel that you can, then that's great. If you don't, that's okay too. You deserve to be happy, to be loved, and to be comfortable in your own skin. That's all that matters. Hope that helps someone. Anyway, James, lighten up the mood and read this for me. Pee pee poo poo farty fart fart. Jimmy and Bri Bri, they are really smart. I believe we are due back in Gotham next week. Better turn on that signal. Let's make this the yoppiest year of the podcast yet. Okay. Yeah, starting off strong, spill a tea. Till next week, big old whoosh, I just flew away. What were you going to say, Brian?
Do you have...
Oh, I'm sorry. No,
do you have a New Year's resolution?
Not really. I had a couple of, like... I'm trying not to call them that because I tend to, this is the thing I'm going to do, and then I don't do it and I feel really bad. But I definitely want to, there's a lot of just random jobs around the house that are so easy to do in an afternoon's time, but we just put them off, like putting picture frames on the wall, finishing painting this thing that'll take like an hour or less, stuff like that. That's just like, there's like 50 of those things. They're just, let's do at least one of those a month. That way it doesn't seem daunting, and then it'll just be done and we don't have to think about it anymore. So yeah.
Nice, dude. Well, if you need an accountability buddy with that, you let me know.
Okay. I mean, you got a whole like house to do that too. So
oh my God, I know, but the painting is like mostly done now. The flooring guys are in there today and tomorrow.
Okay. Are they changing up that like diamond tile floor in the big room? Or no?
Oh no. I just realized I meant to take pictures of all the linoleum.
Like before?
Yeah.
Oh, it's too late now, you idiot.
Yeah, probably. Maybe not. I'll go in there today to lock up.
You sent me a couple pictures of the house. Like, not, you could just try to replicate those angles later or something.
Yeah. No, it's all good.
Well, Brian and I just had a really nice long conversation about the meaning of life that we're just going to cut that out.
Yeah, we definitely solved some problems.
Everybody knows.
Dogs, why you bark?
The bark. They know. They're like, stop doing this.
You need to share the meaning of life.
Stop keeping it from the listener. Here's Back to the Future, past, whatever.
Whoa.
Joe. Here's Joe again. Okay, Brian, I'm going to tell you the name of the next episode.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty good with all my my guesses here, so bring it.
Yeah. Okay. This one's not a garbled mess of gibberish like this one was, so it should be helpful.
So it's a Batman episode.
Yes, it is. Yeah! It is a Batman episode. It's called... I'm already so excited. It's called Sins of the Father.
Sins?
What do you think happens in Sins of the Father?
Okay, hold up. I'm like, I feel like I have the Batman naming convention a little bit better. The Father.
Okay.
Is there a bad guy we've seen before?
Yes.
Is it his father?
You have 19 questions remaining.
I feel like it's not going to be about Bruce's dad. Like it's not his father that's referring to.
Correct. Who is someone that in our first new Batman Adventures episode was a like, what the fuck? Who's that kind of guy?
I can't recall off the top of my head.
Oh, you mean the character, the father?
The father. Yeah.
Father man.
There was a little boy. Why the fuck is he a little boy?
Robin? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, is this going to be a Robin's parents episode?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Who do you think the bad guy is?
The bad guy that was in the original?
No. There's a new Robin. New little boy Robin.
Oh, so there's a new little boy Robin's parents. Has new little boy Robin's parents also been killed?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh my god.
It's about math. It's signs, like sine, cosine, tangent.
It's signs of the father, yeah. That's why we have Joe here, yeah. It's the tangent of the father, yeah.
I'm guessing that it's going to be a villain that Clayface is dressing up as.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got the face part, right?
Two-Face?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully by next episode, I'll have the soundboard fixed, but I won't. So thanks for joining us, Joe. Glad you could be here and not hear the Balderarchy song.
Next time.
Yeah. Yeah, what's our new rule? I mean, we're adding rules for Joe's algorithm here. We have Mxyzpixilated episodes on top of Ra's al Ghul episodes.
Any episode where Superman like barely uses his powers.
Any episode where Joe has a day off and can come over and do it is really what it is.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to you. You have a better idea of what's coming in the future. It could always just be the most oddball episodes, because I also feel like the
Joe has been here for some of those, yeah.
Yeah, and just like the Baja Blast of Doom or whatever. That, like, just the weird.
I forgot
episodes.
I don't think I've said on the podcast, but like that shitty Lazarus Pit drink that we made at your house.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. It was really unhealthy, but Jessica's dad got me like book of cocktails based on like Batman things and villains and stuff for Christmas. So we're gonna have to go through that.
Those.
Yeah. Maybe in Big Bus we can make some for a podcast episode or something. There was one called the Lazarus, but it wasn't anything close to our like green apple energy drink plus.
It wasn't that bad.
It was, yeah. It tasted. I think we said it tasted like apple cider because we heated it up also to be like boiling Lazarus, boiling Mountain Dew or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, thank you. This is the end of the podcast.
Sweet.
Cats up.
Good job, everybody. We did
it. We can leave now. We can only go away when Joe says Brian's name backwards twice. Elinam Nierb. Brian has to say it twice to go away, I think.
There's no way that I would say that
Zella.
No, not even once, I don't think. I could trick you into doing it, yeah. All right, bye. Fuck off.
That's how we send Alex Trebek back to the fifth dimension.
Where he belongs.
Oh, you! I'm not done with you! Not by a long shot! I'll find a loophole! Somehow, someday!
You know, now that you're stuck here, you'll just have to find some other way to pass the time.
Hey, this isn't so bad.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of The Cat and the Claw Part 2, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel. Stupid.